having heard a lot about talking about relationship building and keeping that culture really up to speed with everybody being on the same level, which I can greatly appreciate, by the way. I wonder how easily it is for you to have this little island, which sometimes sales can be, being the people with a lot of incentives that earn great wages, that have a bit of a fancy lifestyle at times, or at least it's perceived being that way if you're a high achiever. How easily is it at TOOP+TOOP to really make sure that these people don't get pretty much like drifted apart from the rest of the team? Talking about marketing, talking about people in IT, talking about the people at who are running the desks and actually helping with the back support. I think that's always a very important part. If the calls are being made, the salespeople are not available, who actually helps them to do the job behind them, put out the fires and so on. How easy is it here to make sure that people really are part of the team and really help each other?
Tim can answer that if he likes. He works within a team right now. So.
Well, I guess there's been an evolution taking place over the last 4 or 5 years, ranging from what was the traditional salesperson with an office support that supported all the salespeople to individual salespeople employing their own PAs, if you like, even buyer managers, which is something that we can talk on later if you like, but creating a little core of people who help handle your properties within the company, if you like, under the company's umbrella. There's another little umbrella, so that if that person's busy, there are other people who have an integral knowledge of what's going on, can answer the questions that are required on certainly a base level, and then work out whether those clients need to be talking to the senior salesperson along the way, and then it comes back to the structures that Mandy's mentioned already. If those things start to go haywire, which certainly you'd hope that they don't, but if they did, then there's another safety net below that can start helping with that. But I think the senior salespeople who are employing other people to help with their own business are pretty dedicated to making sure that their little business within works exceptionally well, undertaking a lot of training, listening to a lot of people, mainly on the eastern seaboard at the moment, who run similar sorts of approaches and getting their ideas on how they can make their business work better also.
I guess from a business also our size, we have professional HR and we have continued development within our teams to ensure that we are trying to keep everybody on the same page. So training within our business is paramount. It's one of the things that we do the most of, sometimes with sales partners groaning because they're going, oh, here we go again. But it's important that we're continuing to develop. You know, you can have all the innovations in the world, but if we don't develop our people alongside that, it's not going to matter. So you've really got to develop your people continually and look at what can we do to improve that. And having professional HR within your business certainly assists with that, to move that forward, because that is a specialist field and you need to be doing that. We are, I guess, lucky in that respect. I'm from a training background, my sales manager's from a training background, and Anthony certainly has a training background. And we bring different skills to the table that we can be putting out there to all our staff at any given time. From Tim's perspective, working within what we call an effective business unit, you know, I can train any of those people in any of those roles at any time, or mentor them through. And I think that's the one where we need to really keep in mind. You always have to mentor your people. There's training, but then there's mentoring as well. And I think that keeps everybody at a level. And that goes from being able to have a quick chat with your receptionist in the morning to see how things are going, to sitting down with, you know, your salespeople to take them through the challenges of the day. And I think if you're treating everybody in the same vein, you get a greater output from them.
I've got one. So perhaps over the last 25 years, are there any key innovations that really stand out to be strong drivers for the company?
Well, I sound like we're going back to a signboard again, but it is an interesting story, I guess, because that I can remember the development of those first signboards where, you know, we went from the industry using a 6x4 hand-painted signboard and everyone used it, to this white, glossy, laser-printed vinyl stick-on sign, and so new at that stage that two of the bunnies that developed them ended up putting them up every Saturday morning, being Anthony and I. So no one wanted to know about erecting these signboards, but that's been an evolution that's we started, I guess, 20 odd years ago, and if you have a look around at the standard real estate signboard, just about everyone has the same shape looking signboard nowadays, so it's been something that people have definitely followed on with. Magazines, I mentioned, they certainly have started out at a similar time, and a lot of people have magazines, perhaps not produced weekly, in fact definitely not produced weekly, but there are magazines, the internet. There's no one particular thing in my mind that has been specific, but everything put together has made a pretty awesome machine.
I'd have to agree with Tim. I mean, there's also, we have what we call our virtual agent, which is patent to us. That's one of our biggest innovations, which helps us manage our buyers and ensure that our buyers and our consumers, not just buyers, but people that are interested in property, can be registered with us, and we'll keep them informed about what's going on in the marketplace. No one actually does that. You can actually be matched as a buyer and get information from another agent, but you don't have to be a buyer to get information from us. You know, consumers these days are really interested in property. You can sit around a dinner table, I am sure, and talk about property. It's one of those conversations that you're continually having. So from our perspective, we want to ensure that we can give you all that information, and that's from TOOP TV. And if we look from our history, it has actually shaped our present. We had radio, and now we've actually evolved to having TOOP TV, which is probably the biggest innovation right now that we've probably put out there in the last few years. And that's actually to drive more eyeballs to our web, because this is driven through our web. This is something that you just don't hear of. You know, we were the first to do this in South Australia, and actually the first to do it in Australia and possibly worldwide, to have our own real estate that has their own TV program live each week, which now has evolved to 2 programs a week. So we have a Fireside chat on Friday as well. So TOOP TV certainly has taken up that space, and it's different. We're putting out information to you guys on a weekly basis, and that not only drives our clients' property, which is cost effective because we don't charge them. You know, we highlight your property on TOOP TV for everybody to see on the internet, and giving you information, and then that then is cut up. All this vision, and even this today, can be cut up and put on web links, so it's driving through consistently out there to the consumer, but it's working for our client because they're getting information out there consistently. So for me at this moment, we've grown in 25 years from the light on the sign, which is still one of the best things that people talk about, I think, to having radio, to actually now having our own TV live stream once a week or twice a week.
Keeps us busy.
It keeps us busy, yeah. No time to be bored.
Any other questions?